this, or I have this addiction. One time, actually, I asked David Guillaume, it was like over a little session and seminar we had with some other college kids, and we were talking about addiction. And he said, you know what's the way to solve addiction? You need to start walking around with a badge that says, I'm addicted to meth, and be proud of it. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? He said, you need to realize the gift you have in this moment. He was talking about himself. He's not addicted to meth. So he doesn't have the opportunity to transform that addiction into miracles. The meth addict does. Realize you have something that even this guy doesn't. This guy who is a spiritual teacher and has been studying Kabbalah and teaching for decades, or whoever, you have something they don't have. So why not walk around with that and saying, yo, I got something rare here. So that's kind of step one. Not even looking at your negativity as something that's low vibrational, but that's real consciousness. And then I'll give it back to you. There was a sage who said, we know the story about, in the Old Testament and leaving Egypt and going to Mount Sinai and the revelation of Mount Sinai and then the golden calf. There was one teacher, I think maybe Rabbi Akiva, he was talking to his students. He said, I teach my students to not even believe that the golden calf happened. The idea that there was a reintroduction of death and fragmentation, because before the golden calf, right, it says that there was heaven on earth for a brief period of time. Then we all bought into the idea that the golden calf happened. He says he teaches his students there is no ego. That's a high level, right? First you recognize there is ego, then you want to get to a place there is no ego because it's all the divine. And as we know, right, theoretically, and we can learn that the ego was the creator's most powerful angel who volunteered to wear the cloak of I'm going to be the opposition because I love God so much, which means I love his creation so much. I'm going to volunteer and I'm going to be like the gym trainer. That the most beautiful thing about that is this ego that eventually the whole world is going to demonize, right? And say that's our opposition. It's not you and me. It's our selfishness is the opposition. We'll get to a place where we transform it, right? And heaven on earth will be reinstated. And we'll still all walk around knowing like the ego was the bad guy. And he will know that he got no recognition. He'll go back to the creator saying, I did the work. And nobody will ever recognize and give flowers to the ego. That powerful angel that was so powerful that said, I'm willing to just be the scapegoat. And that's unbelievable. If we could take that quality of the ego, that the ego volunteered to be the scapegoat, which right now is not showing up, as I'm talking about, but eventually it will, where it's like everybody will just be like, fuck the ego. We all beat him. Yeah. And he'll know, him and the creator will be like, that's why I did it. So, I mean, that's, I think, where are we at now? We're talking about individuality. We're talking about the walls. First, it's being comfortable looking at the walls, which we said requires being vulnerable with the divine. Then it's, now how do I break the walls? Then it's coming to a place of, actually, these walls aren't bad. They don't need to be broken. They just need to be looked at from a different light. So then it's realizing the method of walking around with the meth addict badge. And once you have that, now these walls have the spark of light within them has been revealed. And now you're that much closer. I'm that much closer to that 100% ourselves.
Yeah, and the thing about the ego is I believe the ego is kind of just an armor. It's external.
Yeah.
It's not internal. And it's essentially just, in a way, shielding you or protecting you from the things that you may not be like certain about with yourself. Ready for.
We're not ready to receive this light.
And so you sit there and you put on this armor, right? You're getting ready, you're going to battle, and you're like, hey, whatever hits I'm going to take, it's like my ego is going to do that. So I'm going to work on
Yeah.
building my ego to the point where
Yeah.
I could take these hits. Like, hey, like I'm going to battle. It's like
It's like
sword's going to
Iron
hit.
Man.
Yeah, the sword's going to hit my armor. And right. And it's like, I've strengthened my armor. Like my ego is big. Like it is strong. Like it is going to take a while to take my ego down. But then battle is over. You are not in the heat of the fight anymore. At what point do you take your armor off
I like
and
that.
start building yourself?
I like that analogy because so let's say, right, we want to build up our ego because I think from what we've learned is the worst ego is the small desire ego, like maybe the small desire is it's kind of not conducive to even this divine creation. You want to be a co-creator with God, so we were trying to make shit happen. So Elon Musk, if he has a huge ego, at least he's making shit happen, right? And maybe that is akin to I'm going to battle with an Iron Man suit, with this laser and this like we've seen Iron Man, but at some point, you got to go back and take off the suit.
Yeah.
So you got to get the Iron Man suit, like the Mark 42. That became it was what did it start at when he was in the cave in the Middle East till the final one when he was fighting Thanos and put on the Infinity Stones or something. Then got to take it back off. So it's this process. And then maybe there's myself probably and maybe others. There's this fear of I don't even want to have that powerful of an Iron Man suit. But you want maybe that's the goal. Maybe not everybody has to be Iron Man, but in your own world, build up the Iron Man suit. Eventually, one of your homies that loves you so much will point that out and say, "Yo, it's time to take off the suit." Then you'll take it off. And what's the byproduct? You just defeated all the negative. Like Thanos was defeated because of that suit. So the whole world elevated. There was a brief second that you felt pain when the ego was bruised when your homie said take off the suit and then you take it off. I like that analogy.
And then you realize once you take it off that it wasn't actually the suit doing the work. It was you all along.
You were the one that was Iron Man was the one fighting Thanos. Yeah. It was just the skeleton around. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
and then more self-love is built upon that. And then it goes back to the other point of then now Bill Russell, right? Remember what I was saying about now you walk into every room with 12 rings.
Bill Russell's got 11.
Oh, sorry, 11.
He's got 11.
Are you sure it's 11?
He's got 11.
Okay. So now you're walking in with 11 rings.
See, that's my ego speaking right there. I'm like, I know that. Like, I know that sports fact.
I knew he had one on the toe, like 10 and plus 1.
Yeah, 10 plus 1, yeah.
So now you walk into every room, right? Saying, I got 11 rings. Imagine Iron Man walks into a room with, I just defeated Thanos.
Yeah.
But then you got to go back to the other point is, maybe you got to do more than that.
Yeah.
There's more to do.
Sure.
More to reveal, more to nourish, more to share. So on one hand, imagine Iron Man's ego after he did that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a pretty
it's
darn hard ego to break. But then, right, it goes back. That's the beauty of like
we all have our Thanos in our life, and then usually the Thanos is within us. And it's like, so how do you defeat Thanos and then take off your suit and then reveal yourself to the world?
Yeah.